Hey, what's up, guys? I know I made probably a video on this in the past on this, and I've definitely talked about it, but I have to readdress this because I saw this guy who is a famous influencer on Instagram talking about this, and it doesn't, like, it's not like it upsets me, but it's like it makes me like question a lot of these guys, because what he says is that Masteron is not anabolic. It is purely for aesthetic purposes, and that just blows my mind. That people still have that frame of mind where they don't think Masteron is anabolic. Well, I understand why they think that, but there's so much evidence that shows that is the complete opposite. It's just as anabolic pretty much as Primobolan. Primobolan and Masteron are almost identical. Maybe Primobolan is a touch more anabolic than Masteron. But I'm going to explain again, I guess I have to do this again, why Masteron is anabolic, okay? It is. But the only reason why, I'll get right into it. The reason why people don't think it's anabolic, there's a few reasons. I'll start with the first one, which is, historically, what was the purpose for Masteron? It wasn't for muscle wasting disorders. It was for breast cancer. So therefore, the amount of studies that was shown that, like, what the studies that were done on Masteron wasn't for things like muscle wasting disorders. It was about reducing estrogen levels in the body in specific targeted receptor sites, etc. Okay, so there's not an extensive amount of studies done that show that it builds tissue like other compounds do have, like Primobolan, even like in the past, or other ones, like there's veterinarian ones, there's even Superdrol. I think Superdrol was like first synthesized in 1956 or something like that, which is, believe it or not, it's just Masteron in an oral form. Okay, so I know it's different because it's an oral form, it's different structure, but that's the first reason. The second reason is historically how Masteron is used, specifically Masteron propionate, in bodybuilding. Okay, so it's not used as a bulking agent. That doesn't mean it's not anabolic. It's just not used as a bulking agent, like EQ. Even Primobolan now is bulking agent because it's so clean. People use that now. Deca, etc., etc. It's not now known to be used as one historically, even though it has been. And I watched one with Broderick Chavez, what's his name, where he said that actually it was back in the day used as one historically, but it's not known historically to be used. Okay, there's a difference between whether it was historically used or whether it's known to, and it's just not known to. It's not like people are on like their off-season cycles are running high amounts of Masteron to put on bulking size. It's just not how it's used. It's not how it's leveraged. Okay, so therefore, because it's not generally leveraged that way, people are like, oh, it's totally not anabolic. No, that's complete bullshit. All right, it is very anabolic. But obviously not compared to other compounds, okay? There's obviously better choices if you want, if your goal, again, your choice of anabolics depends on what your goals are. If your goal is to put on strength and size, there are other ones that do it better. But here's the caveat of the whole situation. Masteron, you can run a lot more of it without running into side effects. So personally, I could run 600 or 700 milligrams a week easily of Masteron with like no side effects. Well, there would be side effects, but not negative side effects. There'd be positive side effects, because side effects aren't always negative. But at the same time, whenever I do run higher amounts of Masteron on top of higher amounts of testosterone, so I am running higher amounts of testosterone at the same time, my strength goes through the roof. my size increases. Now, it's not the biggest size builder, I get that, but you gotta look at the anabolic rating. It's only like 60 or 70 out of 100, like compared to 100 of testosterone. So it's not the highest one, but it's still pretty damn good because of the fact that you're not going to run into negative sides. Like, I would much rather run a compound that is less anabolic but has no sides than something that is more anabolic that has a whole host of sides. It's like spinning this wheel of fortune, which side effect you're going to get. You could get gynecomastia, hair loss, can't sleep, you're sweating, or acne. Who the fuck knows, right? With Masteron, you get none of that. Now, here's what the conclusion. I got to bring conclusion to all this, which is, yes, it's anabolic, but no, it's not going to be your major compound to put on mass or size. But you run it alongside the other things that do, and everything cumulatively comes to, like, there's an anabolic cumulative summation that comes to effect, where even the Masteron you take is going to add to that. Masteron is still going to add something to that. Now, it's not going to be the primary compound. You're not going to put on massive bulk necessarily just running test in Masteron, although you could technically do that. And I think it would be a great one for some guys who are, just getting into the game. But when you run other things alongside it, like what I would recommend, NPP on Masteron and testosterone, everything just adds up. When you're running like close to a gram or even over a gram of gear, everything adds up. You're going to have a good time. I promise you that, as far as your strength, size, and gains. All right? So I'll leave it there, guys. What are your thoughts?